Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video, doing weekend forecast for today's second video. So as always, on a Saturday, we're having a look at the weather for the week ahead. It's going to be a week of change. We're starting off in the freezer, but we're going to find ourselves becoming a lot milder as the week goes on. In fact, by this time next week, we'll probably be having a taste of spring down across the south, with temperatures into the mid-teens Celsius. So again, this topsy-turvy teaser winter, keeping us on our toes, and another big change on the way. And I shall get on all of the detail for that for you very shortly. Just to say that the first video release day was the ECMWF 42-day forecast. If that's right, we've got more cold weather to come by the end of February and into early March. So we may not be done with the cold weather yet. Have a look at the ECMWF 42-day forecast, see what that's predicting. And we're also going to have a 10 to 14 day coming up for you later on this afternoon. It will include all of regular features, so you'll be able to see that a little bit later on. The websites using full weekend forecasts are coming from theweatherout.com and westcentre.de. Find links to both websites on the links page and in the description at YouTube. Here we go then. We're going to start off with radar picture. Many places have been dry this morning through northern, central and eastern areas, but we have had a band of sleet and snow out in the west. You can see this area of heavy precipitation, band of heavy precipitation from Northern Ireland and western southwest Scotland through the Irish Sea into Wales and then down into southwestern parts of England. If we add on the precipitation type, you see there's a lot of heavy snow mixed in with that as well. So proper snow event is taking place today across Northern Ireland and also into southwestern Scotland, coming down the Irish Sea into northern parts of Wales in particular, and going southwards through the rest of Wales too. But it does get a little bit patchier the further south you go through Wales. Into southwest England, if you add on the dew point, we can see that some of this has turned to rain in the southwest as the dew point's gone above freezing. Perhaps some freezing rain mixed in for some parts of southwestern England, as well as snow. Very cold dew points further north and eastwards, by the way, so it really is a bitter day today. It's colder today than it was yesterday, particularly with that strengthening southeasterly wind. And this is today's Stochastic pressure chart showing that strengthening southeasterly wind. You can see the isobars are becoming more tightly packed. The high pressure that's given all of the cold weather over recent days, the block has slipped away, or it's starting to slip away to the east, but it's still closer to us to pull in very cold air from the continent through most central and eastern regions. Out in the west, we begin to introduce these milder southerly southwesterlies. So for the rest of the afternoon, we're going to keep more outbreaks of sleet and snow going across western southwestern Scotland down into Northern Ireland, into northwestern England through Wales and into southwestern England too. Sleet and snow again, particularly over high ground, but also coming down to low levels at times, particularly over parts of Wales and southwestern Scotland, northwestern England. Rain down towards the southwest, could be some freezing rain and ice in with that. Through the course of the afternoon, I think you'll probably find this rain, sleet and snow gradually getting lighter and patchier, but still producing significant accumulations of snow in some areas. Won't make much further progress eastwards than it currently is at the moment, I don't think. So that leaves most parts of central, northern and eastern Britain mainly dry, with bright or sunny spells gradually being replaced by increasing amounts of cloud through the course of the afternoon and into the evening. It's going to be a very cold day today. Temperatures ranging from around -1 degrees at best in some central, northern and eastern areas to around +3 or 4 perhaps down in the far southwest of the country. Most places will be hovering around freezing today. Add on the strengthening southeast wind and those very cold dew points, and it really is going to feel bitter cold today. Feeling very, very cold. Colder today than it did yesterday in most parts of the country. Overnight tonight, the wind will freshen up further, becoming very strong, possibly reaching gale force through some parts of Northern Ireland and Western Scotland by the end of the night. Again, it's going to be a very cold wind through most of us, an icy wind, especially through central and eastern areas, although it will start to feel a little bit mild, I think, by the end of the night in the far west. A lot of dry weather around tonight. The band of rain, sleet and snow will pretty much die out across the west. Most places will become dry, but by the end of the night, as the southerly winds perhaps reach gale force in the far west, we could see outbreaks of rain returning to Northern Ireland and possibly western parts of Scotland. Most central and east areas will be dry with widespread frost despite that southerly wind picking up. It will be frosty again through much of central, northern, eastern Britain, with temperatures down to around -2, -3, -4. Where we've got snow cover in the northeast, probably going down to around -6, -7. Add on that strengthening southerly wind, it will not only feel extremely cold, there'll be a penetrating frost as well across central and east areas, becoming less cold though in the west. And then tomorrow really is a changeover day. We lose the cold weather as this band of rain moves eastwards along with those southerly winds turning into the southwest later on. So we'll have outbreaks of rain spreading onto the western side of the country through the course of Sunday morning. Most central east areas mainly dry, increasingly cloudy, and still bitterly cold actually through the morning. And then cloud and rain spreads eastwards through most parts of the country during the course of the afternoon. It might turn to sleet or snow again, particularly over high ground across northern England and Scotland. But this time I think we expect it to turn back to rain as the day wears on. Probably staying mostly dry for East Anglia and South East England, but rain there I don't think will rise until after dark. And by the end of Sunday afternoon, we'll find drier weather spreading back into west, probably with brightening skies, but also with a few blustery showers. It is getting milder tomorrow, but it will still be cold actually for many northern east areas. Not as cold as it has been, not sub-zero, but even so, we're probably only going to see maximums of around 2, 3 or 4 degrees through central and eastern and northern areas. But out in the west, it does get much milder. By the end of the day, probably seeing temperatures going up to around 10 degrees across Northern Ireland. That's 50 in Fahrenheit. Watch out for risk of a little bit of freezing rain and ice as well as this milder weather moves in, as it falls onto the frozen ground. It will take a while to leave the frost out of the ground. So as it falls onto the frozen ground, watch out for the chance of some ice and freezing rain tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. That's particularly for more northern and east areas where we've got snow on the ground. Right, going through to Monday, we're in a very different air mass. On Monday, we're bringing in the wind from west-southwest across all parts of the country by this point. Any overnight rain in the southeast will clear away very quickly, and then we're left with basically a dry day with brighter sunny spells, but also probably quite a lot of cloud. By the end of the day, this area of low pressure here could bring some rain in towards Ireland. The thing you'll notice about Monday is a big increase in the temperature. Temperatures will be ranging from around 5 to 10. 10 is 50 in Fahrenheit. There'll be a 4 of lying snow and ice across central and northern areas. And you really will notice that boost in the temperature on Monday. Overnight Monday into Tuesday will take wet and windy weather across the country, so some of that rain could be quite heavy. That will clear away on Tuesday morning, and then we're left with this showery run of west to south westerly winds. Most of the showers will be in the north and west. Many central and east areas actually having a dry day with bright or sunny spells. Just a few blustery showers being blown through by that west-south westerly wind. Temperatures again ranging from around 5 to 11, so a much milder day through most parts of the country on Tuesday. Again, continuing for snow and ice. Wednesday brings this next weather system in off the Atlantic. We probably start Wednesday on a mostly dry note with bright or sunny spells, but cloud and showery outbreaks of rain in the west will spread eastwards across most parts of the country through the day, probably replaced by sunshine and showers later on. The rain probably doesn't arrive in the east until Wednesday sort of evening time. Temperatures, again, will be pretty mild at 5 to 10 or 11 degrees, but add on the pretty fresh west or southwest wind, it probably won't feel that mild, but even so, it's a big boost in the temperature compared to what we've had recently. Thursday, we've got a deep area of low pressure developing out in the Atlantic. That'll be spreading in outbreaks of heavy and persistent rain through the course of the day. We probably start Thursday mostly dry, and a slight little ridge of high pressure. We may have a bit of a frost on Thursday morning, nothing like as severe as the frost we've had recently, but nevertheless we could start with a bit of a frost on Thursday morning. Plenty of sunny spells too, then cloud and outbreaks of rain spilling from off the Atlantic along with a freshening west or southwesterly wind. Many east areas probably stay dry until Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening, but it turns really wet in the west and the northwest through the course of the day. Temperatures on Thursday are going to be a little bit down, I think, overall. Probably close to average, actually, with a range from around 4 to 8. That's probably about average for 18th of February. By Friday, we're drawing up a very mild, long-effect southwesterly wind with the air originating from the Azores and the Canary Islands. So it's going to be excuse me. Excuse me, it's going to be a very mild day on Friday with outbreaks of rain across most parts of the country through the morning. The rain probably more towards the north and west during Friday afternoon. Friday evening may get a little bit stuck across parts of Northern Ireland, West Scotland, North Western England. Many southern and eastern areas, I think, have a dry day with plenty of cloud, damp, drizzling conditions after that wet start. Despite the rain, at least it will be mild. In fact, it's going to be very mild on Friday with temperatures ranging from around 8 to 14 degrees Celsius. 14 is 57 in Fahrenheit. And that takes us through to what could be a very, very mild weekend indeed. This is Saturday. Again, drawing up this southwestern wind, high pressure building over France. Should bring a lot of dry weather to England and Wales. Outbreaks of rain possible across Scotland. And then into Sunday, again, north-south split. So cloud and outbreaks of rain possible for Scotland. But most parts of England and Wales under this or closest ridge of high pressure should have plenty of dry weather. The thing you'll notice about the weekend is that it will be very mild, exceptionally mild, potentially. Temperature could be up to 14, 15, maybe 16 degrees in the south over next weekend. That is around 60 Fahrenheit. More like what you'd expect in April than February. So from the freezer, we go into spring next weekend. Finally, just having a look at charts weather out. Looks like a bitterly cold day to come again today. The freeze goes on for one more day. We'll have these outbreaks of snow out in the west with some disruption in places as well. Tomorrow is the end of the cold spell. We take cloud and outbreaks of rain across the country. It turns much milder in the west. The east will probably have one more cold day, actually. And as this rain bumps into the cold air, it will probably turn to snow across central and northern areas, at least for a while before turning back to rain. Although cold, it means it's not as cold as it has been, but it really will be in the west that those temperatures start to lift up. By Monday, we are all into much milder temperatures. A lot of dry weather around on Monday as well. And then the rest of the week, we'll basically see showers and longer spells of rain coming and going. What you will notice though is those temperatures rising incrementally, and in fact by the end of the week and into next weekend we could be looking at very or even exceptionally mild weather with a taste of spring by next weekend. After all of this freezing cold weather, we go into spring potentially. At least for a while anyway. I doubt it'll last more than a few days, but we go into spring-like conditions next weekend. Right, in summary then, it's all changed. We're starting freezing cold with heavy snow in the west. We're going to see temperatures lifting up through the coming days, but freeze up is on the way out. If you don't like it, you're fed up with it, it's about done with. And by next week, we're going to be much milder. In fact, by the end of next week, we could have a taste of spring, especially in the south. There will be rain at times, and as all of the snow and ice falls away quickly combined with some heavy bouts of rain, watch out for risk of flooding, and that be particularly so for northern areas. We're going to be back later on with your 10 to 14 day, including all our breaking features. Come back for that then for the weekend broadcast. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.